Welcome, my scholars in the history of the Christian Church. This is a special time for reflection. They say a life that is lived without reflection can lose quite a lot. In today's reflection, I want to reflect over the life of Dr. Martin Luther, the Reformer. Dr. Martin Luther, the Reformer, was born in 1483 and died at the age of 63 in 1546. There are three things that have inspired me, or three things that I just can't avoid commenting on Dr. Martin Luther, the Reformer. First one, and the first and strongest, is his courage to stand against a system of what was perceived to be wrong. Dr. Martin Luther did what no person in over 1,000 years had managed to do. The Catholic Church, which grew into a system of papacy headed by the Pope, is a system that had managed to defeat state kings, King of France, the King of England, the kings of Germany. This is a system that was so powerful that no force could bring it to a challenge. And yet, Dr. Martin Luther, a monk, a mere man, inspired by conviction, decided to stand up against the strongest system in existence at that time, the Roman Catholic Church, headed by the Pope or by papacy. This courage is not something I can just let go without making comments on. We have so many people in life that have gone in life, they disagree with systems, but they have not stood up to make an articulation of their conviction about something. I certainly personally admire Dr. Martin Luther, the Reformer, for standing up against a system that was so powerful and causing a dent on the system. Obviously, I have not gone into the explanation as to what was the system like, what did it do that was wrong, but the point I have made is the Roman Catholic Church by the year 1517 was the strongest and most powerful system of governance on earth. And yet one man stood up courageously. Second point, sometimes we start something bigger than we even think, or we may not know where it may get to. Sometimes we start something bigger than we even think and may not even know where it will end. When Dr. Martin Luther, the Reformer, stood up and raised his hand to say, I will not recant except I am convinced by the word of Scripture. When he raised the sola scriptura principle, making scriptures the authority when it comes to defining salvation for man, little did Martin Luther know that that principle that he beheld or upheld was going to reach the extent to which it has reached today. As a result of that one single principle, returning to Scripture and upholding Scripture as the sole authority on matters of doctrine, faith, and practice, has resulted in what Luther did not know. Today we have thousands of Protestant churches, including the major groups that came from him, the Lutherans themselves, the Calvinists, the Anabaptists, the Church of England, the Anglican, Puritans, Presbyterians, Assemblies of God, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, the Jehovah's Witnesses. All these groups have come out because of that one stress that Dr. Martin Luther made, which even at his time, he did not know the extent of how big that which he had espoused was. Scripture and Scripture alone as the source of doctrine, practice, and life. You never know what you start and where it can end. The third point, providence can bring a man at the right time for the right purpose to accomplish divine things. Dr. Martin Luther, when his parents gave birth to him in 1483, did not know he was a man providentially provided by God at the right time for the right purpose to accomplish divine things. Never estimate who you are. Providence has a plan for you. Providence has a plan for me. Be available for providence to carry out what God does best. Yes, we can look back now today to the life of that monk, the 63 years that God gave Martin Luther, and say it was life worth coming on earth, worth living. Even though he is dead, his works still speak to us today. The 3 points or lessons in the life of Dr. Martin Luther, the Reformer.